Charlie Pittman, welcome. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Your performance was incredible. We loved it.
Thank you.
So I wanted to start with your move from the UK to Sydney.
Yeah.
So did you grow up in the UK or Sydney?
So I grew up technically in Sydney. I was born in Mona Vale, Northern Beaches, and then moved over to the UK when I was 1. So my dad was Australian, my mum's English, and my mum just missed her family so much. So went home to England, grew up there, but I'd always kind of come back to Australia and always knew I wanted to move back here. And then eventually made the move back here almost 2 years ago.
So you had the memories of it from early on.
Early on, and even when I was like 5 or 6 and then 10, I'd always come back and then think, oh, I wish I could live here.
Yeah.
And now I am.
And what's it like now that you're back?
It's amazing. Yeah, I was living in London directly before moving here. And I think just the quality of life I have here in Sydney is just way better. And I'm really lucky that I've met some really cool people over in Sydney and made some good friends in music and outside of music as well.
So you've built a bit of a community?
Yeah, definitely. I think I kind of made my friends initially by just reaching out to different musicians and asking if I could kind of write for their projects. And that kind of spiraled. I think the Sydney music scene is so small, and so everyone kind of knows everyone. And everyone was really welcoming. I'd write with a band or write with an artist, and they say, oh, you should write with this person, and put me in contact with them, and ended up becoming friends with a lot of those people. So, yeah.
And your EP, Nothing Is Forever, you recorded that in the UK?
Yeah, recorded that before I moved to Australia. We recorded that in Brighton with a guy called Jack Wilson, who is in a band called Fickle Friends in the UK. He does all of their stuff, and was kind of sat on that EP for a good year before doing anything with it. And then luckily, when I moved to Australia, it got picked up by Ireland and they wanted to release it. So
yeah, nice. How long did it take to work on?
I wrote the first song for that probably like early 2022, and then I reckon 2 years all up, I think that EP took. So yeah, it was a drawn-out process, but I was so glad I kind of took that time to sit on it before releasing it.
Yeah, worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Whereabouts was it? Where did you record?
Brighton.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like on the south coast.
Great
probably like an hour from London, in this like little beach house, which was really, really cute.
Brighton has a bit of a music scene.
Yeah,
right?
there's a really strong scene over there. I actually just went back to the UK and did a tour in May and played a show in Brighton, which was like a nice full circle moment because I hadn't played any shows outside of London before going back there. So yeah, it was a nice moment to go back to Brighton, and it's so, like you said, such a buzzing scene there.
Definitely, it's so picturesque as well. So it would be like big inspiration writing an EP or an album.
Oh, for sure.
Do you find your fan base differs, or is it kind of the same? Where do you think your main fan base is, or is it across both?
When I moved to Australia, I kind of had a bit of a fan base here, which was great. And I didn't really have much of a fan base in the UK, but since releasing that EP and going back to the UK a couple of times, I've now got a decent pool of people over there listening to the music. And it's interesting, when you do shows over here and do shows over there, there is a bit of a difference in the crowds. I think even just from city to city, I always say Brisbane has like the craziest fans.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I have like, I think the last show I did, there was probably the smallest out of the 3 cities, Melbourne, Brisbane and Sydney, but they were the loudest by far. They're just like...
In terms of energy.
Energy, they just like don't care too much about what they're, how they're coming across. So they just scream at you and it makes you feel like a rock star.
Yeah, Brisbane can be like that, yeah.
I know, yeah. Bris Vegas.
Yeah. The venues, are they smaller, or do you find in a smaller venue there's more energy, or maybe like in a larger?
I think so. I love those venues that are kind of like 100 cap, 200 cap, and you can kind of just like cram everyone in like sardines.
A bit more intimate.
Yeah, because you can kind of see people as you're performing and see their reactions when you're singing your songs, and sometimes even see people singing the lyrics back to you and stuff like that. So,
how does that feel when that happens? It must be really special.
It's amazing. It's something I've been, it's something you kind of write music for, I guess. You want to see the reaction and how it kind of changes other people and their response. And so, yeah, it's an amazing feeling having people sing it back.
Because you've written those lyrics.
100%.
You're a songwriter.
Yeah.
So to see that mirrored back, it's like, I'm singing my lyrics, you're singing my lyrics, and we're watching each other.
I know.
What's your process like, just in terms of songwriting?
It does change from time to time, but I think I'm like always writing words. I think it always starts with words and story. So every day I'm kind of writing in my notes app random thoughts that kind of come to my head, or metaphors I think of even just like, I'll have a conversation with a friend and they'll say something interesting and I'll think, oh, that's an interesting way to put that, write it in my notes. Watch a TV show, hear someone say something, I think, oh, that would be interesting in a song. And then when it comes to actually crafting the song, I like take those notes and think, oh, that relates to this one, put it all together. I might have like a title written in my notes. And then the music side of it comes afterwards, I think. But I think I've always been very storytelling based and narrative based. So yeah, it kind of comes that way. But it can change. Sometimes I'll start a song with a guitar thing that I've written, or I'll be working with a producer and they've come up with a drum part or a certain keys part, and I think, oh, that's inspired me to think about this. But it's always a very personal story, for sure.
And I buried the dog like in the garden. There's a plate, sit at the table if you want it. Don't leave before you leave us cold and carbon. I learned I loved you most when love departed.
Do you find, in terms of like tense, like present tense or the past or the future, what tense do you feel like you'd write from?
I think I'm always writing, pretty much always in present tense, which is interesting. I hear a lot of artists say, oh, I need to kind of process it first and then I'll write about it afterwards. But for me, I always kind of have that thing. I think I need to write about it now, almost to kind of get myself through that situation, almost as like a therapy.
Cathartic.
100%. And so even if I am writing about something that's happened a few years ago, I kind of put myself in those shoes and write about it from, I don't know,
to find that place, to find the story again.
Yeah, definitely.
That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, especially like building a narrative.
Yeah, definitely.
And are you the character? Like, is it you, or is it like you build worlds and it could be someone else?
I guess it is like an extension of me. I think sometimes it's like extremely me, extremely personal, but sometimes you kind of build it out and use metaphors to kind of get to your point. But I think throughout the songs, it's very much me. Yeah.
Did the fans ever try to figure it out?
Yeah, I do get people ask me like, oh, what does this lyric mean? And what does that lyric mean? But it's also interesting to hear people kind of hear stories about how they relate to the song. And I think, oh, I didn't write it about that, but it's interesting that you can relate to it in that way, especially when you write a lyric that's so specifically about you. And I think, oh, I actually liked how specific it was because it made me think about this thing that happened to me. And so it is interesting, but I think that's like the magic of writing songs. You put the song out there and then it becomes, whoever listens to it, it becomes their story.
Yeah, it is interesting. It feels specific to you, but then open to interpretation.
100%.
And then that's the relatability.
That's it, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. I want to ask you, is there any lyrics from another song that just stay with you and resonate? Because, you know, there's like little hooks or like those little moments in a song where you're like, oh, that's the moment in the song.
Oh, definitely. I was thinking about this the other day, and there's a John Mayer lyric from a song called In Your Atmosphere. And the lyric is, I'd die if I saw you, I'd die if I didn't see you. And it's like so simple, but I love those lyrics that are so simple and it sounds like it could just be kind of washed over. But if you actually think about it, you think, oh, that's so interesting. That's one that stands out for me.
The lyrics are so important.
100%. I think the lyrics drive the narrative, they drive the emotion of the song as well. And when you pair that with the music, I think that's when you get a really good song. Yeah,
definitely. And tell me a little bit about your journey into music.
I actually come from a theatre background initially. Amazing. So I came from it in that angle, but then would listen to a lot of music kind of growing up and kind of self-taught myself how to play guitar, play piano. My family are not musical at all.
I was about to ask, is it in the family?
It's not at all. My dad was tone deaf and my mum thinks she's a bit of a singer, but she's not really. But yeah, I kind of took I think my mum would take me to the West End to see shows, and seeing people perform live, I thought that was an amazing thing to be able to do. And then I'd listen to artists. I think Ed Sheeran was probably one of the people that made me pick up a guitar in the first place. He's from like my hometown, so.
Oh, amazing! Yeah. What's your hometown?
Ipswich in Suffolk.
Okay, yeah.
And
that's a really pretty area, isn't it?
It's like a nice country space. Yeah. But that made me really pick up a guitar and start to kind of write songs. But it probably wasn't until like 2020 that I really took it seriously. I was always writing songs, but they weren't very good songs. And it was when, I think 2020 came around and I was collaborating with people on the internet over Zoom, I think because of COVID. And
you were forced kind of into it.
I was forced to, exactly. Yeah. But it made me feel more connected to other people. I could write to people in America through the internet. And 2020 was when I first released my first song, kind of kept releasing singles, started writing for other people as well, which I really enjoyed. And then, got to this stage now where I'm now dropping my second EP. So just keep releasing more music, I guess.
I guess the best thing to do is just to start and trial.
That's it. My first single I released, I didn't really know what I was doing at all. Recorded all the vocals in my bedroom, and then just like uploaded it myself, put it out there in the world, and kind of see what happens. But I think that is kind of a good way to do it. Just like figure it out. You know, there's no one right way to do it. There's no formula. So just experiment and fail. I've definitely failed a load of times.
You have to be willing to fail because
100%.
then that's how you get to the win.
Definitely I look back at some of my songs and I definitely cringe. But it's nice to go,
Has your sound changed much?
Sound's changed massively, yeah. The first few songs I wrote were very singer-songwriter based, but I think that's due to the accessibility I had. I didn't know producers, I didn't know other writers, so I was just like in my room writing these songs, and that kind of limited me a little bit. But then my sound's changed massively. I think my sound is a lot more kind of indie rock or bandy now. But I think the songwriting has stayed the same. I like to think I could still sing the songs just me and an acoustic guitar, and you could still kind of get that same emotion from the song. But yeah, I think I write a lot more with live in mind. I think I'd write the initial songs and I played them live, and I was like, oh, it would be fun to play these songs and like dance about and have a band with me, not just me play by myself. So.
Yeah, I've heard artists say that before.
Yeah.
Like they get excited about performing 100%. A particular song live.
Definitely.
But that experience
100%.
with the fans and the audience.
Definitely.
Wonder where you're sleeping. If you're under his body, a heavy breathing. Are you watching him while I'm watching the ceiling? Wonder if you're leaving. Would you do it despite me? Despite how I feel?
Charlie, what would be a dream feature or a collaboration for you? You mentioned Ed Sheeran. Is there anyone else who you're like, oh my God, if I could work with them? Or
I mean, even like I said earlier, like John Mayer, he'd be amazing. Even if he just heard my music and was like, dude, I like that. That's cool. Or if you're just like, well, I'll throw a guitar solo on this, I'd be like, that'd be amazing. I think he's one of the artists that, like I said, made me pick up a guitar, and listening to how he writes songs and his lyrics has always inspired me.
Yeah, big lyricist.
Yeah, big time.
Definitely.
Big time.
For anyone watching this right now and they're thinking of being a singer, songwriter, wanting to get into the industry, but maybe they've got fear or doubt holding them back, what would you say to them?
Be honest, like let it all out on the table. I think those are the only ways you're gonna actually prevail, I guess. Like if you put all your heart on the line, I think people can really resonate with that. Yeah, it's a hard thing to do, but being vulnerable is gonna help you massively. It might not, work the first time you write a song or the second time, but if anything, it will help you process your emotions. And then eventually the songwriting will kind of come from there. So I'd say, my biggest thing I'd say to anyone aspiring to be a musician or a songwriter would be to just be as honest as you can.
I think that's great advice because humans can be lie detectors, so they can pick up when someone's not being authentic. So you're better to come as you are.
Just say it all, 100%.
Yeah, I love that approach. Charlie, thank you so much for sitting down with me today and having a chat. We loved having you, and good luck in the future.
Thank you very much.